Hey everybody, it's Eric and Jimmy here. Welcome, welcome. I'm excited. This is our first webinar with Jimmy Mackin. I'll introduce him in a second, but I think it's really important to know it's a privilege for us to have him on today. It's so funny. There's a lot of self-proclaimed gurus in this industry. And being in our position at Breakthrough, we see a lot of it, right? So today, I'm going to introduce Jimmy in a second, but he truly is, in my opinion, the best marketing copywriter, best marketing strategist in the industry. So we have him today. We're actually going to have him once a month on Breakthrough. So we're very excited about it. And so, guys, as you always do on Breakthrough calls, type in where you're calling in from. Jimmy, where are you at right now?
I'm in a sauna right now, as you
I
can tell,
see
Eric.
that.
No, so I'm coming to you from downtown in Boston, Massachusetts today.
I
Trying to
love
survive the heat wave out here. Having a great time though, man. It's good to
I
be
heard
here.
I heard it's been like the hottest in a decade over there.
Listen, like Bostonians need anything else to complain about. Like we're so no, it's great to be here, guys. I'm thrilled that we're doing these sessions, these breakthrough sessions. We want these things to be lightning sessions. We want to give you a ton of value quickly, inspire you to get to work and get out there and get more customers. So I'm thrilled to be here, my friend.
Love it. I see Atlanta, Billings, Texas, Prosper, Texas, Columbus, Ohio, Dallas, Fort Myers. Welcome, everybody. I am in Denver today. So, anyone in Denver, hello. And Chicago, Naples. We're gonna get started. Jimmy, I'm gonna let you tell everyone your background. I do know that I'm sincere when I say the strategy, not just recently with listing leads, but the strategy
Sure.
you had at Curator, the strategy you guys did at Water Cooler. It's been decade or more of you creating
Yeah.
strategy to help real estate agents sell more homes, right? And
Hmm.
now your passion is helping agents get more listings
Yeah.
and grow their business doing that. So I think we're going to focus on certain strategies over the next 12 webinars with Breakthrough and any other content we'll do together about
Yeah.
helping our base of users in basically just finding more listings and making more money, right?
That's it. That's it. Yeah. Thank you, Eric. And I'll take the lead now and I'll start diving into it. So thank you for doing this. And Eric will monitor chat as well. So if we got questions, he'll
I'm
jump
here.
back on with us. So let me start by saying that the goal for today is to provide you the blueprint on how to attract expired listings. Now, before I dive into this, I want to sort of set the stage, which is to say that expired listings, it's not about cold calling or dialing for dollars or breaking 2 to 3 hours of your morning off and hitting the phones. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about a way to attract customers so you don't have to chase those customers. Now, let's just talk about this basic idea for a second, because I think it's important that we sort of set the stage. There are only two ways to grow your real estate business, only two. You can either optimize an existing lead pillar. So that might be email marketing, social media, door knocking, open houses, buying leads, Zillow Flex, right? Optimize an existing lead pillar or add a new one. And if you think about it right now, today in the summer of 2025, I want to know in the chat right now, because we're going to be talking about expired listings. Do you currently go after expireds? Yes or no in the chat. Is that a part of your strategy today? Yes or no in the chat. Okay, so lots of yeses, which is great. You're in the right place. A lot
No.
of no's. A lot of no's. Yep. Cynthia's saying every week, right? No, not yet, not yet, not yet. That's Robert. Exactly. Not yet. At the end of today's call, I'm going to convince you that you need to add this filler. So for some of you on today's call is going to be really about optimizing your expired strategy, sharing with you the insights that we've learned, helping thousands of agents close billions of dollars in business this year. So we'll share with you some of the insights we've learned how to approach expired marketing. And for some of you on today's call, we're going to add this as a pillar, explore the idea of adding it as a pillar. Now, let me just give you some facts on this, because I think it's important that we have some context, which is this. The number of expireds year to date is up over 20%. If you look at it, even going back to last year, 24, it's actually up 100% when compared to 23. So this is a category of opportunities, listing opportunities that is growing. So if you think of the market is compressing, it's shrinking a little bit, there's parts of the market that are actually growing. And this is part of the market that's actually growing. Now, I predicted back in 22 and 23 that I said, listen, we're going to see a spike in the number of expireds, not because the market's going to soften, but rather because there's a lot of agents who have forgotten how to manage a listing for more than a few weeks. And let me know in the chat right now, what is your average, not you personally, but what is your market's average days on market? Drop in the chat right now, average days on market. So if your average days on market is going from, let's say, normally, 15 days, 20 days to now 30, 40, 50, 60. Look at the numbers there, 120, right?
Yeah.
Thankfully, no one's saying 365, Eric, in the chat. Thankfully, we're not at that point. But you see that so this is the thinking, right? And this is in the chat. Let me know. Is it going up or down? Is it becoming longer or shorter? Up or down, right? And see, that's the thing. Up, 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 up. Everyone's saying up. That's the thing, is that as the days on market increase, so does the number of expired listings. And so this is a category that's going to grow. The other thing that we know about expired listings is that 40% of homes that expire end up relisting, and more than half of them hire another agent. So we know that this is a lead type. If you think about, like, if you compare it to like an internet lead, which converts at less than 1%, or maybe your SOI, which transacts at maybe like 4 to 6% annually, expired listings are actually transacting at 40%, more than 40%. So if their home expires, 40% of the time they're relisting and selling the house. And over half of them hire another agent. So from a strategy perspective, it isn't, I mean, if you compare it to FSBOs, if you compare it to non-owner occupied, if you compare it to, for rent by owners, it is by far the biggest category. I think my buddy Curtis over at Red X showed with me yesterday. He's like, there are about, give or take, about 2.3 million expireds a year right now, trailing 12 months, 2.3 million. And about 1.3 million end up selling, a little less, 1.2 million end up selling. So if we do let's say we do 4.2 million transactions this year in the United States, 1.3 of those sales are people who have tried to list before and then had to relist their home again. And so I say all of that to say that when we think about growing your real estate business, we think about this idea of how do we put ourselves in a position? How do we put ourselves in a position where we look to the best opportunity, the lowest customer acquisition cost, the category that's growing, and how do we get ourselves in front of that audience? Now, before we dive into strategy, I'm going to give you examples of 6 letters today, right? And Tayana in the chat says, I have sent 60 letters to expired listings in March. Crickets. Definitely let us know what you're sending, because we can maybe even have a chance. If you can give us a link, Tatiana, if you can give us a link, we'll actually do a live critique if we got time for it, or you can just drop the copy in the letter. So let me just share my screen real quick, because I want to share some sort of wins with you. So this is some of the early results we got at the beginning of the year. So let me actually back up for 1 second. Let me stop sharing. I'm going to pull this up here, which is whether you have done this before or you haven't done it, I can help you get listings. Okay. This is not this. You do not need to be an expert in this. This could be the very first time you're doing it, or you just started doing it and you're looking to get results. I can help you get listings. Let me just share this sort of example with you right now. This is my friend Tammy Montgomery. So she sent out 54 letters, 2 responses. She got a listing for a $500,000 one and $1 million one. And you can see just the results from this particular campaign. She actually ended up listing both of these homes and selling both of these homes. Okay. Another example, my dear friend, Nashville Nick Shoemaker. Do not give up. We sent our Expire campaigns in January. Seller reached out. She had listed with a friend, went back on the market. She kept getting her letters. She received 3 from us. She called us back. I need someone with the experience you have, right? We got the listing. Keep sending the letters. My friend Lisa, 400 Expire letters going out today. I go in the chat here for a second. I just received my first phone call from Expire listing. She got the listing. She'd been down Tuesday. I mean, I have literally hundreds of success stories like this, helping agents get listings for expired letters. And here's what I want you to share is, or I want to break down for you, is that the way in which we approach expired marketing that's going to be fundamentally different than the way that we normally do. The types of marketing, the frequency, right? The calls to action, it just needs to have a different approach. And I'm going to teach you how we built our blueprints and give you away, our secret sauce. And hopefully at the end of today's call, I'll be able to get all of you a free trial of the listing leads, which we share all these ideas. And by the way, we have an amazing partnership with Breakthrough Broker, which they can help you actually execute these ideas. So we'll talk about that at the end of today's session. But let me give you a ton of value first. So the first thing is realizing, Matt, if you're going to do an expired marketing campaign, I'll go ahead and share my screen right now. If you're going to do an expired marketing campaign, I'm going to pull up our blueprints, and I'm going to pull up the one that we launched at the beginning of the year. And just let me know in the chat, can everyone see my screen before I keep diving into this? Can everyone see my screen? Give me a thumbs up in the chat. Okay, awesome. Great. So I'll give you some context. When we were doing our expired marketing campaigns, the very first thing that we said to ourselves is that we said to ourselves, okay, what is the typical way in which people are doing expired listings today? And what we found to be true is that on average, a letter would go out and it'd be like, hey, this is Jimmy with Remax. I'm reaching out. I saw that your home expired. I'm so sorry about that. I think there's a couple things we can do to help you sell your house. Here's my phone number. Give me a call. Or we'd see scripts like, hey, this is Jimmy calling with Remax. I saw your home, didn't sell. Are you still thinking about making a move? And what was missing, can you guys relate to this? Like, what was missing? Oh, someone's saying I'm blocking them. Hold on. Let me go ahead and stop sharing. And let me go ahead and share. And you know what I'll do? I'll make myself smaller. There we go. The beauty of technology here. Okay. So there we go. Is that better? Is that better?
Yeah,
okay.
It looks
it's
good.
Like for those of you who remember Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, right? Like that's the moment. Okay, perfect. All right. As you know, I got 2 little girls, so I'm now going back through the archives in the 80s and 90s and watching all the classics. So what we're looking at right now is this idea that the types of marketing we were doing that we saw that agents were doing was very me-centric, me-focused. Hey, I saw this happen, I can help. Hey, I saw this happen, I can help. And the thing that we were missing, the most important thing that we were missing was empathy. Understanding that the number one emotion, let me know in the chat, the number one emotion a seller feels when their home does not sell is blank. Fill in the blank for me. What is the number one emotion? Frustration, fear, anxiety, disappointment, defeated, embarrassed, right? Anger, absolutely. Do they trust the real estate agent? Like, yes or no? Do they trust the real estate agent? Like, loss of trust? Nope, they're upset. The number one emotion they feel, and some of you are kind of circling around this, was shame. And the reason they feel shame is because they told all their friends that they're putting the house on the market. They told all their friends that they're moving to Arizona, getting out of the cold winters in New England. They told all their friends that, hey, we're going to, we're doing this and this and this. And guess what happens? Their home doesn't sell. And now they've got to go back and like, well, oh, your home still hasn't sold yet? Oh, yeah, we had a bad agent, it's a bad market, but they feel a sense of shame that this thing that they own, like no one wanted it. And I think that's an important thing we have to understand. And of course, they blame the agent. Of course, they blame the market. Of course, they blame everyone else, but maybe themselves in this case. And if we don't communicate that in the way in which we market, we can't build trust. And that's the thing that we have to do with our marketing. And let me just show you the first letter here, which is We have, and this is and I'm going to give you a sneak peek at the summer expired series because we just revamped this. I mean, this has literally generated billions of dollars in business. It's our expired marketing campaign. I'm going to give it away for wait for you on today's call. So if I click into the first campaign, the very first letter we send is unlike anything you've seen in real estate. Now pull it up here. Now that your home didn't sell, you've probably had a wave of agents promising you they can get the deal done, right? You've heard this story before and you're not buying it. At this point, you're frustrated, you're disappointed, and you're likely pretty annoyed that your phone hasn't stopped ringing. So let me just be clear. This is the first time we're communicating with this prospect. And what we're doing is we're using a technique that we coined in the book, exactly what to say for real estate agents. Show me that you know me. And so by telling them, hey, this is what you're experiencing, because they just got all their information sold to a bunch of agents are door knocking, dropping off letters, calling them, right? But no one's talking about like the pain they're feeling. So here's what I know. This is where we start to demonstrate our expertise. If a home doesn't sell, it's usually for one of three reasons. The price didn't reflect the market, didn't get enough exposure, it wasn't presented to buyers effectively. If you believe it's because of number one, the solution is simple. Just lower the price. And what we're doing with this message here is we're communicating to the consumer, listen, like you don't need another agent, just lower the price. But if you believe it's number two or three, this is allowing them to self-assess. I've reviewed your home. This is where I can help. I reviewed your home. And I think you've made a few critical marketing mistakes. If you address these, I'm confident we can help position the home to sell to its full potential value. Right? Here's our call to action. This is the first letter we send. Now, notably, you'll see that we start building on that momentum. We're typically sending, and I would write this down, we're typically sending a letter every 5 to 7 days. Now, if you're in a market where the expired listings are relisting faster than the average, the national average, by the way, the national average is 40 days. So if you're in a market where you're seeing homes expire, and then like relist faster, you might want to accelerate the delivery of this, but we recommend 5 to 7 days. The next campaign that we use is the campaign that's around using a concept from the wonderful book called The Challenger Sale. You guys should all read it, The Challenger Sale. And they talk about this idea of, can you educate the consumer to introduce a new idea to them to demonstrate that you're an expert in the topic? And so this letter is called The Biggest Mistake You Can Make. And so we start the letter off, and I'll walk you through this. We start the letter off as, what's the worst thing you can do when you relist, when you home doesn't sell the first time? And that is relist it at the same price. Here's why. Of the homes that relist, only 14% sell at the same price. 54% sell at a lower price. But here's the good news. 31% sell for higher than the original list price. And the way to think about this is, if you're going to do an expired marketing campaign and you're going to relist a property, you should launch that property. New photos, maybe a new description, right? Definitely a new price, either up or down. Just don't keep it the same price. Here's the takeaway. It's not just the price, it's the strategy. If this is the first time you're hearing advice like this, which it definitely is, we should talk. And this is see how simple and how clear and how compelling this information is. And by the way, someone asked where we get this data from. This is from my buddy Curtis over at RedX, who is they track all this stuff across the entire nation on expired data. So this is sourced from RedX, and they did a partnership with Keeping Current Matters as well. But this letter is not about me. It's not like, hey, I've sold 50 homes this past year. Hey, I'm great at marketing. This is about educating the consumer on something they might not know, to demonstrate your expertise, to establish that you actually are good at your job. Now, building on that idea, this is when we start talking about ourselves a little bit. Now, what we know, because this is letter number 3 I'm about to break down for you. Letter number 3 is that what I know to be true is that if we can, consumers all hate a pushy, aggressive agent until you need one. You want your agent to be pushy and aggressive. You want your agents to be proactive. but a lot of us are maybe resistant to the idea until we actually hire that person. And so this one is really about this idea about communicating the fact that, hey, we are persistent. If a home doesn't sell or a home doesn't sell instantly, we do things to get the house sold. And so this is a little bit of a success story. So you could take an example of a tough sale. Like, how many of you, just in the chat right now, let me know, how many of you, how many of you have had to go the extra mile this past year to get a home sold? Yes or no in the chat. I mean, you put it on Zillow and it didn't sell in the first week. How many of you had to go the extra mile to get a house sold this year? Look at that. Yes, 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 yes. I mean, like every damn time probably it feels like at this stage. And so this is a good example of take one of those stories and just talk about that. Hey, your home deserved to sell. You've been through months of stress and frustration and uncertainty. What you need to know is an approach. What you need is more than just the same approach, but something that's different. Just last month, I helped a homeowner. Their home was on the market for 90 days and they didn't have an offer. I implemented my strategy. We sold in X time. Here's the details. Persistence is everything, which is why you probably noticed I've been calling you and emailing you and sending letters. It's not just follow up, it's a reflection of how hard I work for my clients. And so, what we're doing with this is we're showing them and we're telling them by sending a third letter, right? This is the third time they're hearing from us. We're demonstrating that we actually are persistent. And then, kind of, we're breaking the fourth wall here by saying, and yeah, you can tell that I am persistent. People love this. They want an agent who's going to continuously follow up, not only to get their business, but to get their home sold. And then from there, we get into some more information on education. We highlight, things to do before they relist. We talk about, what they should do next. And then additionally, what we would recommend is follow on scripts. So my advice on scripting is this. You should call certainly the day that you actually list, like the homes hit the expire. So you should call them as soon as that their home is expired. You should also call them as soon as you sent the letter, and you should call them as soon as they got the letter. And these call scripts that we break down reflect the same kind of message that you see within the campaign itself, right? Within the letter campaigns. And then this is a kind of comprehensive strategy. So this is the one that we rolled out. I'm going to break over the summer strategy in a second. This is the campaign that we rolled out back in the beginning of the year. Massive success. Here's the big Zen takeaways. Number one, you need to get a reliable list of expired listings. Number two, you need to make sure that if you're getting their phone numbers, that provider scrubs them against a DNC. You can't be calling people on DNC. Number three, you need to have a software solution that can automate the sending of these letters. You do not want to have to remember to send a letter out every single week. You want to automate the entire process. Exactly. Eric, right? Eric's immediately going to the sales pitch. Yes.
I'm not. I'm just saying we can automate for them.
Well, and that's what I was going to go with, Eric, which is that the reason we Listing Leads partner with Breakthrough Brokers, we can automate that. We want you guys to use Breakthrough Broker and Listing Leads. We want you guys to all sign up for it and use it because we know the value you're going to get. Regardless, whatever you decide, it's got to be automated. Okay. So let me come back here for a second. We've got the 2025, the one in January. Now let's go and talk about the summer expired series because we've made some really important changes. So I've given you kind of a high level. This is the approach. Now let's talk about for a second. Let's have a conversation about this. If your home is expired in June or July, what is the thought that's going through the consumer's mind right now? Meaning, what are they thinking about today, right? Shauna, great point, Shauna, right? I missed the boat, right? How many of them are thinking, hey, we missed the peak selling season, right? They may be thinking, hey, what do I do next? Excellent point. Why didn't it sell? What went wrong? What do you think about? Do you think they want to relist in the summer, or do you think they want to wait maybe to the fall or maybe even the spring, right? Like, do they want to, on average, do they want to relist or do they want to wait? And you can just see, wait, 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 wait. So marketing 101, like I'm gonna try to share with you. We create hundreds of campaigns at Listing Leads. We have now over 4,000 agents. We develop their entire marketing plan each week so they go out there and get more customers. They don't have to think about it. What we know to be true is that you gotta get in the mind of the consumer. So if you missed the spring selling season, you now are thinking to yourself, I'm just gonna take the summer off. It's hot. I'm gonna wait. So if we don't address that up front, and we just talk about relisting their home, we're not addressing the objection they have in their mind. And let me tell you a quick story on this. I had an opportunity to work with Tony Robbins, coach who worked on the selling the coaching program from Tony Robbins. His name's Eli Wow. Me and Tom Ferry had a couple opportunities to work with him closely, and just an incredible, incredible, incredible presenter. He said, Jimmy, this guy, by the way, has helped sell probably like $1 billion in coaching. He has worked with the best salespeople on the planet. And he goes, Jimmy, if you want to sell something, whether it's through a letter or a text, a phone call, on stage, he goes, you have to do one thing first. First and foremost, one thing. You have to destroy the objection in the mind of the consumer. And so if you think about that for a second, we go to ourselves, okay, well, what is the objection that the consumer has in their mind? If their home expired, they missed the spring selling season, what are they saying? They're saying to themselves, I should probably just wait. And so as we get into the 2025 Summer Expire series, I'm going to break down a couple campaigns for you here. We got to address the objections. And so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to try to provide some value without a really aggressive call to action. And so this is an example. By the way, this is all in Breakthrough Broker. This is the 5 ways to instantly attract more buyers postcards without doing a major renovation project. Now, the reason we included that line, because that is an objection that people have. Hey, you know what? I would relist my house, but I don't want to have to fix the kitchen or repaint the whole entire house or fix the landscaping. So this idea of like, hey, you can actually relist your property, attract more buyers without having to invest a ton of money. And so this postcard talks about that, right? It takes 8 seconds for a buyer to decide if they're interested in a listing. I might not be the first agent to tell you this, but you don't have to do a massive renovation project to change the way they see your home. Here are 5 things you can do, right, to instantly attract more buyers. And this is where I'm starting to lay the groundwork for, right? Giving them some value without being overly aggressive, just communicating, hey, I want to establish some trust because I know that I'm sending a second letter, a third letter, a fourth letter, and a fifth letter. And notably, what you'll see here in the Summer Expired series, we're saying text strategy 2, here's our phone number, to set up a 15-minute summer strategy call. Now, we repeat that call to action multiple times through our letter series. The reason we do this, how many of you know in the chat right now, let me know, what is Geico's like call to action? The same call to action they've been using now for like 20 years. Drop in the chat right now. What is Geico's call to action, right? Say you got Jennifer 15 minutes, right? How many minutes? 15 minutes. What's the percentage? What's the percentage, right? 15 minutes, say 15. Like we all like, can you think of Allstates? Can you think of Liberty Mutuals? Can you think of like what the actual call to action is? Not what their message is or their mission or their value, right? But like what's their call to action? Geico understood something, which is that repetition is persuasive. And so what we're doing with the Summer Expired series is we're repeating that same call to action over and over and over again. Text strategy 2, here's my phone number to set up your 15-minute summer strategy call, right? It's boom, boom, boom. Repetition is persuasive. Now let's build on this idea. Letter number 2. You guys are, by the way, you're going to love this letter. By the way, is this different than what you normally see? Like, let me know in the chat. Is this different than what you normally see right now? Like the typical expired letter marketing. Hey, hire me. I'm so sorry. Here's my phone number. Right. I mean, we gotta be different on purpose when it comes to our marketing. I love the feedback in the chat. All right. So number two, summer expired series, right? We got, hey, expired marketing. Let me recap before I move on. Expired marketing, massive opportunity. It's up 25% year over year. About 1.2, 1.3 million houses this year will have sold, and they were previously expired. Right now, this is a category, as everyone mentioned at the beginning of today's call, this is a category that is actually growing. And we now know there are only two ways to grow your real estate business: optimize an existing lead pillar or add another. Okay, so this is a massively, massively, massively big opportunity to execute over the next 60 to 90 days. Letter number two. I love this one. I mean, this is so this one is the perfect example of letting someone self-assess to then ultimately lead to a decision, which ultimately leads to a phone call or an email. So it's called the home sale scorecard. And so if you go to the home sale scorecard, you can see here the fastest way to know whether it's worth relisting or holding off. Again, I'm just trying to address the objection that we're going to later destroy in the mind of the consumer, is to take a hard look at what has worked and what didn't work. Whenever I work with my clients who are in similar positions and are overwhelmed about where to go, they find this strategy simple or helpful. Was the price right for today's market? Yes, somewhat, no. Were the photos and staging truly show ready? Yes, somewhat, no. Did the marketing go beyond the MLS? Was your showings access flexible and easy? And did you receive any offers? If you answered yes to every question, just lower the price. Again, this is the anti-sales pitch. Famously, real quick, I'll come back to share my screen in a second. Probably one of the greatest ads ever created in modern advertising in the last 10 years is when Patagonia took out a full, how many of you actually, like, raise your hands, like, you actually wear Patagonia, like, or know of the brand, right? They're synonymous with quality. This is synonymous with like timelessness. It's synonymous with tech bros, but they're also synonymous with like, hey, like these things last. Patagonia famously took out a ad in the New York Times that said, "Do not buy this jacket." And it talked about like they are anti fast fashion. They are anti the negative environmental impacts that sort of fashion industry has had on the world. They're all about reusable. They're all about repurposing. They're all about recycling. They're all about saying, listen, we build clothes to last. And of course, they sold a lot of jackets because of it. And so let me kind of pull that example back up. We use this technique more often than not. We say, hey, if you answered yes, just lower the price. And so this is a little bit of like that, don't buy this jacket. It's like if you know it's the price, just lower the price. Don't hire me, lower the price. And we're the only people who are willing to tell the consumer the truth. And the consumer is not a moron. The agents who tell the consumer the truth are the ones who are going to be able to build trust. The ones that try to sell them candy and rainbows and unicorns, guess what? You're going to attract people who want candy, rainbows, and unicorns, which are children. And nobody wants to work with children. Now, if you answered no to number two, we should talk. Geico, text strategy to my number, 9 number, set up your 15-minute summer strategy call. So again, we repeat that over and over again. Let me go through letter number 3. This is, again, you're setting these every 5 to 7 days. You're following up with phone calls. We have the scripts for that as well. This is before you take the summer off. Now, the reason that we are creating this letter is we want to paint a clear picture of the future. A lot of you very smartly in the chat talked about how uncertainty was a big thing, like uncertainty, like like they're uncertain about the future. They don't know when to relist, if it's going to have any different outcome. So right now we want to play the role of giving them some insight on what's going to happen. So this letter, letter number 3, is, hey, it probably feels like the right decision to wait before you put your home back on the market. But Before you take the summer off, here are 3 things you should know. Number one, buyers are starting to have some relief. This is bringing in some new opportunities. Number two, most buyers, they want to get settled in before the fall and school starts. It's kind of the natural deadline for them. And number three, most importantly, inventory is rising. Translation, you are going to have more competition and therefore potentially more downward pressure on your price come the fall if you just wait like everyone else is doing. And so, hey, if you're open to the idea, tech strategy, Geico, 15 minutes or less, say 15%, to here's our number for the 15-minute summer strategy call. So we're trying to tell the consumer, listen, I know you told yourself you want to wait. I know you told yourself this is a good idea, but have you considered these other things, these other factors? And so here's my advice, and I'll pull this up because I know we got a lot of questions on this. My advice when it comes to doing the expired marketing campaigns, a couple kind of quick pro tips I want to give you. Number one, I want you to, and I would write this down. Number one, I want you to make sure that no matter what you do, if you're going to go after expires, is I want you to have at least a 6 to 7 week campaign. So whether you work with us or you don't, like plan it out over 6 to 7 weeks. We know that the majority of people who are going to relist within 40 days. You got to make sure that your follow-up goes beyond the first week. So number one, you got to make sure that your campaigns are lasting at least 6 to 7 weeks. Number two, I want you to think about this not as one single campaign, but rather a series of stories that continue to build trust and confidence with the consumer. So every letter builds on itself. Every call builds on itself. It's not just, I'm just following up. I'm just following up. I'm just following up. No, it's one cohesive strategy. And again, the key things I want you to think about are going to be, number one is the empathy. Try to describe their situation better than they can describe it. Show them that you know them. Number two, make sure you provide information that's going to give them some insight that you know what you're talking about. Some data, some interesting stories, and some stats. They're going to like, oh, this agent actually can get the job done, or this agent just taught me something. Number three, give something of value to the consumer. Okay? These are empathy, demonstrating your expertise, value. These are ingredients that need to go into your marketing campaigns. Your letters, your postcards, your calls, your texts, your social media posts, your emails. That's all going to go into that bucket. So number one is that the campaign should go 6 to 7 weeks. Number two, you should include those ingredients in the campaign. And number three is you've got to, and this is important. This is really important. When it comes to your calls to action, I don't want you making this mistake. When it comes to your calls to action, I don't want you making this mistake. Which is, every time I see someone do this, I know it kills their conversion ratio. Which is what they do is that they provide a letter and they have, I don't know, all this great copy that they've either written or used. And they go, okay, if you want to get more information, call me, text me, scan this QR code, visit my website, follow me on Instagram, right? And also make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel. What happens is they overwhelm the consumer with
ways to connect.
Exactly, Eric. 3, 4, 5 different ways to connect. And if you want to create a great marketing campaign and you want to improve the conversion ratio you have on every letter, every email, every text, every call, two important lessons. Number one campaign, one call to action, always. One campaign, one call to action. We at Listing Leads, we rarely, with exception, we rarely break that rule. One message, one call to action. The second thing, your calls to action should follow a very simple format, which is make the first step a small step. This is based on Robert Cialdini, the famed psychologist, concept of continuation. He wrote a book you guys should all read called Influence and Persuasion. If you can get them to take that first step, they're so much more likely to take the next step and the next step and the next step. So number one, make every campaign one call to action. And number two, make every call to action, make that first step a small step. And that will instantly improve the results you get from your emails, your texts, your calls, your letters, your postcards, your social media posts. The book is called Influence, and the author is Robert Cialdini, a Cialdini, I believe, in the chat. We'll drop a link to his to the Amazon here. So
Jimmy,
yeah, go ahead, Eric.
real quick, because I think it's a great question. Should you focus on newer expireds or older expireds?
Awesome question. New expireds 100%. However, we do have I'll pull up so you can see this. We do have campaigns for older expired listings. And so we have a campaign called, literally, we call it Old Expired. And so what you could do once you get really comfortable and confident executing on a weekly plan for your expired listings, you can then start getting a list of, let's say, 2 or 3 or 4,000 old expires that have been over a year, maybe 1 year to 5 years and never relisted. And this is a killer campaign where it requires some personalization. We recommend doing add a little bit of personalization so it feels a little bit different. But these individuals relist at such a higher rate than just in any off-market listing. So I would say, Eric, the starting point here for sure is going to be newly expired listings. We know that over half of them are going to relist. And we know that I think the number is a little bit over half of them also hire another agent. So I mean, that is unquestionably the lowest hanging fruit. And so real quick, before we dive into any more questions, just super quick, we're going to drop a link right now to Listing Leads. You guys can download all of the blueprints. You get a free trial. We're $139 a month. We have an option for $99 a month, which also has access to the blueprint. So we'll drop that in there as well. I'll give you a quick, Eric, if you actually want to share that, that'd be great. Everybody on today's call will get access to the blueprints that we shared. You can subscribe to Listing Leads. Just to be clear, we give you not only the expire blueprints, this is what email you should send today. This is what text you should send today. This is what social media posts you should share today. So we give you your entire marketing calendar, but we have partnered with Breakthrough Broker. So they can automate the sending of these campaigns. So if you are looking to just say, listen, I want to automate the sending of these campaigns, Breakthrough Broker can allow you to do that, and they do a fantastic job with it. All of the expired listing campaigns are in Breakthrough Broker right now. So you can subscribe to Listing Leads, join the free trial, and then you can log into Breakthrough Broker and you can literally upload your expired list and automatically send out 6 of the next campaigns here. So I want to shout that out because this is an incredibly simple way to actually execute this. Eric, quick question. They're asking, how much is Breakthrough Broker?
Great question. There's some confusion. So people are asking, which is which? I'm seeing something different. We've partnered. Listing Leads, Jimmy writes the content, and they have a huge library of other strategies and mailers, hundreds, right, of battle-tested strategies. We've partnered on a few of these campaigns to bring to Breakthrough Broker users to execute on because we have the ability to mail them out for you. We have the additional ability to mail them out automatically. So when you put an expired lead in that page I just showed you, we will send the series of letters that Jimmy wrote. So I wrote it in before. Are we asking you to join on this webinar? Yeah, in full transparency, we want you to be part of the communities, Listing Leads and Breakthrough Broker. Breakthrough Broker is $15 a month, $180 for the year. So if you're with Listing Leads and with Breakthrough Broker for $180 for the whole year, if a Listing Leads letter converts for you, you're looking to increase your ROI on both of these spends 20 times. So We are here to provide value, but we're also members only. So we want to make sure you guys understand what we're doing together and we're
Yeah.
completely transparent. We've partnered together to bring this to you all.
Yeah, exactly. So let me, and I'll add one more thing before we get into some questions. We have a lot of questions coming through. Um, if all you need is direct mail campaigns, right now, if you love everything I covered, like, hey, Jimmy, all I need is direct mail campaigns. That's all I need. Sign up for Breakthrough Broker. I mean, Breakthrough Broker is a partner of Listing Leads. We have all of our campaigns in there. If you're like Jimmy, I love the direct mail campaigns. They're amazing. But you know what? I also need help with. I also need help converting deals in my database. I need some good email marketing. Jimmy, I also need some great text scripts. Hey, Jimmy, I also need some great social media posts and templates. Like, if you need just direct mail, just sign up for the Breakthrough Broker. You don't need listing leads. All of our listing lead direct mail campaigns are in there. If you need, right, more than that, if you're like, hey, I would love to send out better emails. I don't have great emails right now. They're pretty bad or they're just automated. Hey, Jimmy, I would love some text scripts at work. Hey, Jimmy, I need some social media posts at work. Like, if you need more than just letters, sign up for a free trial at listingleads.com. It's $99 a month. You can upgrade. We have an upgrade option for $139. But really, I would say most of you will probably just do the $99 a month option there. So just to give you some clarity, like, there's two options here. Just letters, go for Breakthrough Broker. If you need more than just letters to really level up your marketing, that's where we come into play. So on that note, let's get into some questions here because we have a bunch of questions about expired marketing. Let's jump into this, Eric.
Yeah, go. I think one of the biggest questions is where are you getting these lists? And in my experience, I got my lists from either my title partner or we had a really good MLS here in Colorado where I could run an expired list right from the MLS. But
Yeah.
what do you have? Any other ideas for that?
Yeah, I think there are plenty of list providers like I mentioned Redex. Curtis is a great friend of mine. But if you can get it from your MLS or your title rep, then start there for sure because it's gonna be free. Um, so 100%. And I think the most important thing is to add a reminder or an alert on your calendar to get that list every single day, so you don't forget to do that. Yeah, Courtney in the chat saying, "Hey, anyone in Orange County, I can help you get a list." Yeah, I would start with your title rep. Shout out to Courtney, like you're like bang on your title. Hey, get me a list, right? I need something that's going to work.
I love
Great question.
it. That was the biggest question was where are we getting the lists? I love the question of here, Mark is asking, how can I convey my expertise if I've been an agent for only 6 months and have only sold one home? Do you
So
have
this is
any
yeah,
dialogue for new
yeah.
person? Great question, Mark.
Mark, here's the deal. You're not going to like this advice, but I'm gonna give it to you because I've been in this industry now for 15 years and I know what the attrition rate is in real estate. I mean, like we have a ridiculously high failure rate. Here's what I would do. I hope you're doing this, and if you're not doing this, I would consider doing this. You have got to partner with the best broker or best team in your area. And a broker and team leader, you should not do this on your own. You should not hang your hat with a broker who provides you no services whatsoever and charges you really low fees. You should not look at the commission percentage as the deciding factor. That's the biggest mistake everyone else makes, right? It's like, oh, which brokerage gives me the best commission split? It's irrelevant. Your earning potential is the most important thing. Which broker, which team gives me the biggest earning potential, right? Because 100% of $0, which is the average homes most people sell in the US in real estate, is still $0. I'm looking to partner with the best person. And so when I have that partner, I'm using borrowed credibility, which is I'm saying, hey, listen, like I'm using the fact that our team, right, our brokerage has been around for 35 years. Our team sold, you know, uh, 70 homes last year. So I'm using borrowed credibility as opposed to trying to basically prop myself up as someone who is like, an experienced agent because you're not.
I love it.
Yeah. Shout out to
Jimmy,
Bruce. Bruce is like, hey,
I know.
that was me, right? I mean, like this is persistent.
You want to give a
right? Love
sneak
that.
peek? You want to give a sneak peek of what we're going to be talking about in the next few months?
Yeah, next month we'll end with this. I think next month we're going to be focusing in on the silver tsunami. So social media campaigns, email campaigns, and of course direct mail campaigns. The silver tsunami represents 60 people over the age of 60 who are selling right now in the US. They represent the largest cohort of sellers in the US. They make up over half. We know that 6% of all people over the age of 60 are planning on selling. And so we have developed an entire blueprint, entire strategy, entire game plan to help you actually go after these individuals. And as you can tell, right, what we're focused on right now is we're focused on getting you some now business. How can we help you have a conversation today, tomorrow, get an appointment this week to get some momentum in this market? And that everything we do from a marketing perspective, everything we do from a sales perspective is focusing on like getting you in conversations. Now, we had a question on will this be featured in Breakthrough Broker? Absolutely, it will be featured. And yeah, Courtney's saying, is there an accreditation? Yeah, Courtney, there isn't a public accreditation on the Silver Tsunami yet, but I think the way in which you market, I mean, like we will get you certified by the end of that call on how to market to the Silver Tsunami. So, and yeah, it looks like there actually are some accreditations from NAR. I'm focused obviously more on the marketing side as well. So next month, 100% Silver Tsunami. We'll get you guys dialed in to making sure that you are set up for success. Let us know in the chat. Was this helpful? Does this inspire you to get out there and start taking advantage of these ideas? Like, are these things that you can, like, would this be helpful, us giving this to you every month, getting you motivated, getting you excited, getting you dialed in, getting you the information you're looking for, seeing lots of yeses in the chat. Thank you guys so much for being part of today's session. We're glad to kick things off with a bang here, and we're hoping that we're going to keep this thing going every month and make sure you're successful. Be sure to check out listingleads.com. You get a free trial, take full advantage of it, of course. And again, if you want to automate a lot of the sending of this, sign up for Breakthrough Broker. I mean, incredible price on that, Eric. So let's get these guys dialed in, get some listings, my friend.
Awesome. Love it. Thank you. We'll keep working on this stuff together. Keep an eye out for the link to this page for the recording and all the links to all the actionable content. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you soon. Jimmy, great job. Thank you. See you soon.